Guys, welcome to the YouTube channel at Imi Ideas underscore FX. What I'm going to be talking about this evening is my profile of Monday closing as a manipulation. Now, this is going to be volume one for this series. I'm going to be doing a three-part series, which is going to be covering manipulation, consolidation, and then expansion using Monday close to find a POI for your one shot one kill delivery. So basically, the way I trade is I trade the weekly expansion. From my backtesting using ICT concepts, I've realized that there's a particular delivery that there's a particular high probability delivery that price action used to deliver the weekly expansion a lot of times. And going back in time and backtesting, I realized that if one can be patient enough to wait for that kind of setup, there is uh, one could easily find consistency in finding these setups, and um, it opens a new pathway to other opportunities in finding trade setups and in anticipating moves in the marketplace. So for today, let's talk about Monday closing as a manipulation. So basically, if I'm anticipating a bullish week, for example, the first thing I do is I wait for Monday's close. Now, from the open of Monday's candle on the 1 hour chart to the close of the candle on the 1 hour chart is what I use to frame either a manipulation, an expansion, or a consolidation. Now, seeing this day close bearish, being that the bias for this is bullish. Since this day close bearish, this is going to be called a manipulation. Why? Because it's closed in the opposite direction of my bias. Now, if we're using the concept of power of three, this will be our manipulation, of course. And power of three is simply the open low high close if for bullishness and open high low close for bearishness. Now, from the open to the low, I noticed that Monday close as a manipulation. Now, there are two frameworks going about this when Monday closes as a manipulation. When Monday closes as a manipulation, is either number one, watch this bar now. This bar is Monday closing as a manipulation. Let's say we are bullish. Now, Monday closing as a manipulation, first things first, is either you're going to get Monday's low used as a liquidity, meaning price is going to run Monday's low going into the next day, probably the London session or overnight Asia session. Then probably price action is going to use Monday's low as a liquidity pool, run the liquidity, run the sell stops there, and going into the London session the next day, rally off of that. And from then on, you can see price probably offering the weekly expansion. And for a live example, this is an example here where you see Monday closing as a manipulation. From the open to the close is a manipulation. You can see Monday's low was used as a liquidity pool. Price ran the sell stops, and going into the London session, you can see delivery of price action going into Wednesday, going to Thursday, going to Friday, delivering the weekly expansion bias, which was what bullish. Now, another example is this. Now, this is Monday closing as a manipulation, and there's another manipulation of its lows. Now, there's another framework to this. Monday close as manipulation. You can see the open here and the close of the candle here, and the bias for the week from is bullish. Now, the second framework for using this framework is now you're anticipating Monday or sorry, Monday closes as a manipulation, but then let me say from hindsight, we are not anticipating that probably Monday is going to close or Monday's low is going to be used as liquidity. For example, now this. Notice what price action did. Monday closed as manipulation, but its low wasn't used. Maybe it might have hit a discount PDRA from previous week. That's none of my concern. That's not my concern for now. What is my concern is its low likely to be rated for the weekly expansion delivery to start? Well, we have to wait for the next day in London session to be able to confirm that. Now, if you're waking up in the London session of the next day and saying that overnight, after money close as manipulation, there's kind of like an expansion delivery in price action. Then what you're going to do is simply just anticipate reaccumulation with the London session using power of three for that day, buy. Simple as that. For example, you might say, okay, price close as manipulation here, and it displays all the way to this price point. There were two down close candles here, another down close candle here, meaning price action was already in its delivery. So what you are just looking for is reaccumulation the next day and for price to offer bullishness going into the next day. Now I think I should draw an example of what I mean. Let's say this is another bar here, Monday close as manipulation. But in this case, price action didn't read Monday's low. Instead, there was a displacement overnight out of Monday's low. Now going into the next day, all you just be anticipating is reaccumulation for your buy setup into whatever PDRA um, we used for entering our trade. For example, for this, it was a bullish order block that was used, this one right here, and price used that to offer the delivery of the weekly expansion. So, key terms you should know, or key things you should know are your arrays, your discount arrays, your premium arrays. Number two, you should be able to highlight pools of liquidity. For example, old lows, old highs, old session lows, old session highs, previous week lows, previous week highs. Those are your liquidity pools. So these two framework are the major framework that price action is going to use if Monday is closing as a manipulation. Now, the case for being bearish is going to be the reverse. Why? Because being bearish, all you'll be anticipating is open to the high, then down for the close. That would be for bearishness. So I think we should look for an example for where we have that for bearishness. So let me scroll through the chart and see if we have an example of that. Okay, nice. So we have an example. Okay, sorry, this is still bullishness. I'm trying to look for an example for bearishness. Okay, we have one here. Now Monday close, look at the open here. From the open here to the close here. What did it close as? Look at the daily range. It closed as a manipulation. Why? In sense that my bias is bearish for this week. That's the only reason why I'm framing Monday close as um, manipulation. If my bias was bullish here and I'm seeing this range, this will be called an expansion. Then all I'll be doing is wait for a retracement into Monday's range, then looking for a continuation. But this bias for this week, from hindsight, we can see that is bearish. So what we're doing is, okay, nothing going into the next day. Is London's is previous day's high rated? Yes, you can see that previous day's high was used as the liquidity pool in this scenario. Now, so price with price rated Monday's high displaced overnight. And going into the London session, what area do you think were offered for a sell setup? We have the bearish order blocks and we have the bearish fair value gap. And right there was our short, and you can see how price delivered the weekly expansion for bearishness. This is another example for when Monday closed as a manipulation, but in this case, the bias is bullish. Now, this is not the case where Monday's low is used as liquidity. This is the case where you have overnight expansion, and all you should do the next day, look for reaccumulation into an array. In this case, you have the last down close candle, which is this bullish order block. Your stops here, then boom. You can see how it delivered the weekly expansion for bullishness. So this setup works, it delivers. If you are patient enough, our advice that you go into your chart, look for these two scenarios, and I promise you, if you can be patient with looking for this on your chart, you'll be able to find at least consistent setups on the chart. Note that they don't form all the time, they don't form every single week, um, but when they form, you can trust them that those are higher probability conditions for the weekly expansion deliveries to start. So yeah, manipulation, expansion, and consolidation are the three profiles I use for framing Monday's close when I'm looking to trade the weekly expansion. Now, all I do is wait for Monday to close. Um, Monday is basically just an indicator day for me. Monday is just an indicator. Whatever Monday do or does is going to tell me what I should do going into the next day or going into the following days for me to be able to look for a trade setup. So guys, I wish you the best. Try and find this on your chart. It's going to require a lot of work from your side. Good luck and good trading.